Welcome to Marvelicious Toys. We bring you news and reviews of Marvel toys, statues, and more. Because not all Marvel collections can be bagged and boarded. They're not just toys, they're Marvelicious.
I was shocked that we're going to see a second wave of those 5 POA Web Warrior figures, including Green Goblin and Rhino, or a statue of the Rhino?
It's a prototype they had on display. Some Hasbro guy was like way too excited about these. I got a full demo of all these. And that's a prototype Rhino. It's not how it's going to look when it's done. It's why he's like all weird gray.
Okay, because I just thought that was the worst paint app ever. It looks like he had a staring contest with Medusa.
No. And then these also all have an action figure feature where they can swing and like shoot like this web thing.
But you're confused the same way I was. I had the same conversation probably with the same guy. There's 2 different lines going on here. There's the web slingers that basically come with rubber bands that the figures can shoot.
Yes.
I kid you not.
Yeah, that's all it is.
They're just rubber string that each figure or vehicle can fire differently. I'm referring to the 5-point of articulation Web Warriors that I got the first 4 of we reviewed last show.
Oh, for some reason I thought because they're all there, they're all the same.
Okay, but even more confusingly, those Web Warriors I have seen at Target, but in a deluxe pack where they come with like a vehicle or some sort of accessory. And
no, those are Web Warrior Web Slingers.
Oh, God.
This is too confusing. Let's move on to something less confusing. How about Titans?
All right, Titans. We'll go to Titans. I passed on the Hulkbuster. I went to Target not long before Toy Fair, found a whole bunch of 2.5-inch figures, loaded up the cart, found the 5-point of articulation, 3 3/4-inch Age of Ultron figures, loaded up the cart. There was that Hulkbuster Iron Man, and I looked at all the stuff I had in my cart, $125 of toys, none of which I love. And so I left the Hulkbuster on the shelf.
You said you'd wait for it to go on sale, though, which I think is something that is going to happen here any minute.
Yeah, but now I want him more than ever, and I have to have others, since they revealed in the presentation he knows when other Titan tech is around and interacts with them.
Well, you can have a few then. Although this is going to get really creepy, though, because I imagine they'll start talking to each other when we're not prompting them, and just too spooky.
I wish I could say that I was surprised, but I just can't be. I know how big of a sucker you are for the electronic crappy toys.
Or you just mean crappy toys.
You know which one I want Hulkbuster to interact with, though? This was the surprise. All the other Titans were already on shelves before we got here, but not Ultron. They're going to do a Titan electronic Ultron.
All right.
And I think with some red paint, you could turn him into Frank from Hellraiser, the skinless corpse. That face is utterly creepy. I'm thinking of like the vivisected human body museum exhibit that's touring.
Yeah, it's really, really, really nightmare inducing. I'm going to have to ask you to change that picture so I don't have to look at it anymore.
So my question is, what is going on here? Is this just a poor attempt at approximating what somebody saw at a glance? Or are we seeing something kind of spoilerish here? Is this like...
I'm thinking that too, Justin.
A form of Ultron where he's almost human.
Does he want to be a real boy, and so he's starting to carve musculature into his own metal?
Exactly.
Ugh, no.
It's creepy as hell. It's scary. If I was a child, this would freak me out.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's best not to dwell on it, especially since, like, the speakers are in his face, too, so he's got, like, slits in his eyebrows and cheeks, and, yeah, I'm gonna have some bad dreams about this thing.
I just got up in there with a macro lens. It was so disgusting. I couldn't look away. I'm surprised they sell this in a kid's aisle.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that one sells, or if that lady from Florida starts a protest on Facebook again.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is something I might be okay with.
And I'm waiting, you mentioned lady from Florida. I was thinking about the one that was turning herself into a cheetah or something. Now I'm just wanting to see somebody have plastic surgery to turn themselves into Ultron.
Don't give anyone any ideas.
Yeah, that guy who turned himself into Red Skull, but I think he missed the mark just because he cut off part of his nose. Does not mean you look like Red Skull, buddy. Maybe this is his next step.
And then finally, there was some various stuff around. I had an interesting conversation because I noticed that all of the little potato head heroes were put on clearance at Entertainment Earth, now out of stock, and there's one 4-pack showing up later this year, and that was it. So I started talking, and I'm like, so these are still shipping? They're still going out? Oh, yes, because I saw Entertainment Earth put them on clearance. Oh, well, maybe we can't comment on that. So I'm not sure if the little potato mashers have a very long life in them or not.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I've only ever seen them at Kmart.
You go to Kmart?
Yeah, because that's the only place you can get mini mashers.
I just shop at Entertainment Earth.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but to be honest with you, it's one of the only retailers that still carries most of the Marvel lines. You know, like pick between Target and Walmart, and one of them isn't carrying something at any given moment. So
Yeah, our Kmarts aren't like that.
And then finally, Play-Doh? Okay, Marvel Play-Doh. I don't have...
But the cans are their heads. So the cans have a face on them, and then they have like a body with some like accessories that it fits into, and they're kind of cool. And you forgot the superhero... What are those called?
The Playskool Heroes?
Yes, Playskool Heroes, because they had a really cool Iron Man thing.
Well, they had an Iron Man thing. I don't know that.
Yes, where you put Tony Stark and you can make him into Iron Man. You didn't see that?
No, where was that?
Over in the Playskool Heroes section. The same guy that was all too excited about the Web Warrior Slinger shindig over there. They have a play set, and it's Tony Stark's lab. And in the middle, so you have Tony Stark figure at the top, and you push this lever, and he goes down into his little Tony Stark's Iron Man suit.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what was going on. I had no idea what this was with armless Iron Man and Tony Stark and Gallows. I thought it might be some kind of torture chamber, honestly.
It kind of looks like it's all about the BDSM, I know.
And after they put out that Ultron, anything goes over at Hasbro. So
It's like 50 Shades of Tony.
Yeah, 50 Shades. I honestly think that you could just have curious question mark under that with Tony and chains.
Yeah, no, you press the top, and he goes down into the Iron Man suit, so you can make Tony into Iron Man and also into War Machine.
now that's kind of cool. I wonder how they're doing it.
Yeah,
Is it snap together pieces, or like does another figure come out the bottom?
Well, he goes into that figure, which is kind of like a clamshell,
All right.
and so Tony goes in there. It's pretty cool if you're a little kid.
But Hasbro had a great showing for Marvel. I came out of there really excited. I went in a little bit skeptical. I didn't know what we'd see. I thought it might be all about 2.5-inch figures and things, that they are giving the Legends such a push. Obviously, I think they're seeing that the Toy Biz Legends collectors still have an appetite for 6-inch figures, and that it seems to me they're able to just do more at the $20 price point with the 6-inch figures than they're able to do at the $10 point with the 3 3/4-inch figures, and collectors are eating them up. I'm excited, though. I'm glad I jumped on with Legends when I did, back with those 6 Toys R Us figures, because otherwise I wouldn't have much to collect this year. Only Hot Toys and statues and...
I'll get out my little tiny violin.
Well, I mean, we've been saying it for the last couple of years now, and it just seems like maybe, 3 3/4 inch is still hanging on for yet another year. But it's true. I think collectors are being herded into a 6-inch scale all across the Hasbro's lines. It's happening over in Star Wars, as far as we know. It's happening here. So I guess it's good that they're not just completely severing ties with the 3 3/4 inch collector.
Yet.
But it's a slow migration that we have to admit is happening.
And we'll see what happens. I mean, the toy aisle is very cyclical. Remember the 70s, 8-inch Migos were the norm until Star Wars came along with their novel, very tiny for the time 3 3/4 inch figure.
But it had never been done before. That's the thing. Everything was big. And so now, look, we're getting small stuff because everything we had was so big. We're getting these 2-inch and 2.5-inch toys.
I'm just saying, wait and see. We cannot prognosticate.
I still think kids would rather play video games.
Sadly, you're probably right.
Yes.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Marvelicious Toys with more collecting news and reviews at marvelicioustoys.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, make mine Marvelicious.